Good evening. I did not want to lose my idea because I was looking at Ethereum. Because Lucky sent something on Friday saying that Bitcoin would go to 80K and then back down to 50K. Uh, and on the back of that, I've been scouting online and X and social medias all weekend, and I did see and find some people that were talking about a pattern that were happening in crypto currently. And that pattern led from 80K to it was more like 83K, 83 to 85, back down to 53K, 53 to 55K. And I found a lot of people talking about that specific pattern. Um, I did not think that we were going to go this low, but after looking at Ethereum right now, I can I can see we're going to go below 1500. Uh, it looks too clean. So let's rewind and let me show you this part here. So over here, that's basically summer of 2024. So you have your higher high, which could be considered the previous all-time high, right? At the time. So leading into higher low and then a lower low off the structure. Structure would be here, leading into you have your spike in the volume. Now the spike, the original spike leading to the higher low was here, which therefore led to the descending channel because you have a bearish spike, and obviously now because they failed to create a higher high, nobody wants to purchase and push the price higher. So that being said, led to a lower low after another attempt to catch and trap liquidity with an equal high. No spike here, but a continuation, which led to a lower low. Now, another spike, meaning reversal. And that's exactly what happened. Small reversal. Consolidation, because now the move had been from the highs to the low was 2000 point. Obviously, price action at this point needs a break. It needs a breathing time. And that's, I mean, this is 864 bars. That's 144 days. That's a long ass time for that amount to fall off, right? So now it leads into consolidation, but it holds support. And if you look at current price right now, it is exactly in the same place that the original consolidation happened. Now, the consolidation leading into a higher high. It kept pushing previous highs. So that's first one. And it still left the equal highs over here unswept, right? It's almost there, but it's not. So now retest, that's where people entered. That's where people entered. This was the clue. Okay, we broke the highs. We're ready to go over here. We're ready to sweep this. These are longs, trap longs. These people are going to want push higher. They have a roughly 500 points, 530 points, 15% before either here or here to exit their longs if they held through this mayhem. Exactly what happened. Consolidation leading into a trend, volume behind it, but not a spike. Just clear volume, right? Now, from that point, you have two highs, two double tops, okay? And then what happened here is that most of those people that were trapped over here exited, leading into a small down trend. It did break structure, but not the bigger structure, not the original kickoff, right? So not this one, not this one. It broke the first one way higher and didn't even fetch the previous higher high that kicked off the entire trend. Now leading into the second top. The second top had bearish volume showing that we had some left. Now, this one here did not have a spike, which I'm not really sure. I guess the volume bias from that point did not like you couldn't really figure that one out with the volume, but you had a clean double top RL right there. It hit, and then just everybody that did not sell ended up selling, leading into a break of structure and now a clean market structure shift because it broke two structure. It broke two swing lows. Clear break of structure. Now there is bearish volume behind it. You could consider it a spike at the time, but honestly, it was just clean bearish volume. People sold, some bought back because, hey, we didn't break this original consolidation that kicked off the whole trend, so we're going to be bullish. And some people bought to push the price up, but then we create a higher low. The higher low failed to continue into a higher high, and now we start coming back down, and then we broke the original kickoff, meaning we are clear bearish. You got a lower low, you got a lower low, higher low, lower low, higher low, lower low. So now the next consolidation has some volume behind it, but then it fails to continue higher. And this being the head, left shoulder, head, it's bound to break lower. And then we create a lower low, which now we have a massive spike for the reversal. Reversal happen, and then we have our right shoulder. Over, under. Now, this right shoulder is higher, which clearly shows that it is the over under, and it's complete. The neckline is complete. What is left is the manipulation. So now we formed a lower low, and we went all the way down to 1390 something. So that's exactly what I think is going to happen because what do you have here? It's the mirror image of this. Literally the mirror image minus the double top, but now you kind of have it's definitely clean that this is the top. So now you have your consolidation, your lower low off the structure, kickoff. Okay. Now it's kicking off higher high, consolidation, continuation. Now you have your higher high, lower high, higher high. Now you have a lower low trapping the short, but now it did not go break the structure. It only broke one, not two, so now it is still valid for a higher high, and that's exactly what it did. Same thing here. It broke one, continued, retest, small under over, and then it goes forming a higher high. Now, I'm not really sure why it failed. I mean, the volume spike is very minimal, but I guess it is a spike. I mean, you had one here which led to the reversal, and then you have another one here, which led to the reversal. Now they still kept trying to buy it because if it did not break the structure, and then they trapped people on both sides, leading to a higher low, which the higher low failed to create a higher high, and all it did is it fetched that previous top, previous swing. Well, it's a structure swing, but it didn't break the high, so technically it's still bearish or considered consolidation. And then on the lower low, the same way this one and this one happened, this one broke one structure, leading to failure of a higher high into a double top. Now all hell breaks loose and everybody's selling. This is ahead. And then they sell into a lower low. Spike. Recovery. Failed to create a higher high. Broke this structure. So now it's back into that range for the time being, but then it can't, it failed. Like nobody wants to buy. So now it's consolidating over here, leading into another lower low, higher low, lower low, higher low. And then now the trend goes back in consolidation because it stops forming lower lows. That's your right shoulder. And then, of course, left shoulder is lower than the right shoulder. What happened next? A lower low. But now the thing is, where's the neck? The neck is here. So what's going to happen here? We're going to go inside this range right here, which we did. Okay. So now this would be the next one. So if you look at these targets here and all the liquidity that's trapped, you have an RL over here at 17. You have an RL over here, 1534. So I would say we go to 1534. Yeah, I would say at least 1534. There's very high potential to go to 1534 because the low over here is 1739. So 1534, because we hit it so quickly and recovered, I'm sure we're going to have a lower low off this swing low over here, and then we're going to come back and recover. But as far as right now, this to me looks very bearish because it's failing to break that area right here. If it had closed above, came back, kind of hover inside this area here, then I would have been okay, cool. At least we broke a higher high. Now we broke the higher high and rejected instantly with a spike. So to me, too many too many reversal spikes in volume has happened. They're bearish. They're gonna sell this shit off to 1500 is my guess. Otherwise, we go inside these blocks here, which those are old blocks. I mean, granted, I think the top by end of year, if we recover from 1500, would be 3400, which is double the amount. But if we don't, we're looking at, yeah, less than about 55 to 60% drop from there. But this is the target. Matter of fact, I'm gonna mark it so to remember. But that's what I'm looking at because it's too clean. It's way too clean. The same happening to me is just looks too clean. And the fact that we are in that same kind of range, we did form lows, but not that much low, right? Like this, that right here is this right here into a recovery. So we would be right here right now, right? and we're down here because we didn't really recover that far. There was more buyers here, but we would be in this consolidation here, and the exact thing that happened is that we failed at one point on in February. I would say if you calculate the amount of days, it's roughly 128 bars. This is, yeah, that's way more time, but can't really tag it in that regard. Though to me, this the pattern looks the same, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I've seen enough of it to believe that this is exactly what's going to happen. The only time it didn't happen, it was here, and I think that's because this right here was more of a we were still in the bull cycle, right? But it had to hold this area. Actually, it didn't even break the previous low, so that might be why. I would say that's probably why from the retest it didn't break the extreme low that happened before. And then you have your under over here to push for the rest. So yeah, that would be. I just think that because we planned the top, we've calculated the top, and the top had happened. I think there's going to be. I think the top is done for the cycle. It took too long to recover all of this. Like, I get that this is roughly, yeah, 160 days ish. So I would say 6 to 7 months. 6 months would be like they have 6 months. So February to July, right? So we're gonna be hovering in this range right here, is my guess. And if you think about it, it's 50% of the range. Kind of makes sense, right? So I would say the top would be 50% of the range, which really equals if we are to go higher instant like very soon, that would be 50% of the range, and that's where we're gonna go. Now if we go to in the 1500s, 50% of the range is now 3200, which is exactly one of the alerts that I have. So I have alerts for both of them. I have the 3200 and then I have the 3398. But that's where we're gonna go in that time frame if we are to go and retest the 50% range before we go into the bear cycle, because we are not there yet. But I would say within the next 3 months, like May, June, July. By July, we are at 3200. But we're gonna need a lower low first, and I think the lower low will be in this range right here because they're gonna want to come in as low as possible because they're only getting a 50% pop, not an entire all-time high. It'll be a 50% pop. So they're gonna want a lower low. That's my best guess. To me, this is the most critical time if you want to catch something that would be like valuable. That's pretty much it. This is my thesis for crypto. I mean, to me, the like Bitcoin's kind of the same, the same pattern, but nothing is bullish until it's breaking above that trend line. It needs to capture at least 86, 85K to go to 95. But as far as right now, there's nothing. We've swept everything except this one right here. So could this be the top? I mean, if you calculate the 50% range, it's pretty much the same. That would be that equal high with a wick. So 92. Yeah, roughly 92, 93. Makes sense. And then, but by July, so by July, that's where it's gonna go. But first, that area right here, see how we wicked it? Now that area right here would be 52, 55. So yeah, you go back in this range right here, fetch this, and then this leads to their 50%. It's plausible. Other than that, I have not updated the levels yet, so it'll be tomorrow. As far as right now, we had pretty decent week. It consolidated and broke out. It waited the very fucking end of the month to break out. It waited the adjustments of the books, hedge funds book, to break out. Uh, no top wick did get its top. I mean, 7,300, that's call wall. Call wall was reached. It is not the quarterly expected, but it's by 33 points. So is it really that? Like, is 30 point really something that matters for them? Could there still be a 30 points? That's a potential. But if there is left, if there is 33 points left, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to go and fetch 72.20, 72.30. I would say 72.20 because that's in that previous top, and that would fill up these two gaps, and it would probably end up tapping 20T, which did cross. So there's momentum. Like they have momentum behind this move. The volume looks like it's descending, kind of. Yeah, it is lower. It's not lower than this, but it looks like volume is descending. So I'm surprised this spike here did not lead to a lower low. Actually, it did. It did fetch this. So that spike led to a higher high. Yeah, okay. So I could have fucking longed these equal lows on Thursday, 23rd. And then it would have gotten me the entire fucking move. Great. I love how after all of this happened, now you see the signs and you're like, God damn it. That could have been a sick trade. So it really sucks. But okay. I mean, this is Yeah, I think we're gonna go and hit. We've already did hit it, but I think there's gonna be. It did try. So really, we need to watch. What is this here? That's 7209. So 7200. We need to watch 7200. Anything below will probably tank us and go and fetch. The daily needs to break 7133 and 7175 to have a too clean break of structure that would lead into a true market structure break. We need to break two swing lows before we truly have a market structure shift. Until then, we're bullish. It won't matter. So it would be this one and then this one, which is exactly where value high is on the 4 hour. So really, until we break these two, maybe this one and this one is. I'm still iffy. I think this structure right here needs to break to be a clean, and that would also mean we're under 200T. That's the only uh, clean break that I see. And we're not really forming a head or anything either. Like if we do, this would be the head, this would be the left shoulder, and we're gonna form the right shoulder somewhere around here. So we could, I mean, if we start really tanking down and coming back to that range and just chopping in the range for the next week, that's your head and shoulder over under, and then we might come back down to neckline, which would be gamma, which makes sense. That's the, well, it would be either here or gamma. She, yeah, there is blocks over here. So yeah, gamma would be your neckline. So that's where it would stop and come back up for June, July is my best guess. As far as right now, I think the open might be bearish. Liquidity is below 69.97 is where the bulk of liquidity is. I doubt we're going to go there. I want to see these adjusted lower daily and lower weekly first. But this is a bearish candle. So it's a nice bearish pin bar. It did close bullish as far as my indicators. So, I mean, it could reverse. I mean, look at what this did. I mean, technically, this was kind of foreshadowed because the body closed within that range. It wicked under, but it closed within the range and then led to a higher high. So there's momentum behind it that led to this, but the body still closed outside of the previous day. So it is a bearish candle closing, but it is a bullish daily bias for the next day. That might be an inside bar. We need to break 7300 with momentum. 7333 could be the top. Or this is a shooting star, and then the next day is within that range, fails to break and create a higher high, which therefore leads to a body that would close below previous day low. If the body closed below previous day low, then yes, we are going to be bearish on Tuesday, Wednesday. But as far as right now, I mean, this is a massive amount of liquidity that had volume behind it. So we'll see what happened. It is something that I keep my eyes on. As far as my opening bias is going to be bullish until previous day low is broken. And nat gas had a nice pop, very nice pop for uh, the start of the year, and then from the news that we had, we also had some momentum, and I know some volume behind it too, right? So ultimately, there could be continuation, pretty significant amount of volume. It's probably the most amount of volume that it had since March, so a good 2 months. There's a spike. Mm, no, not really. Kinda. I mean, it's almost as high. And then last one did lead to consolidation, failed to create higher highs into more downside. So, I mean, at this point, it has to hold 200T, so 2.527 for more highs, or at least to go retest 3.45, 0.045. That would be where a good exit would be. But I think we've been below value and we're in support, so there's possibility of continuation. Maybe not a higher high off the structure, but at least there's volume that came in. It looks like they're gonna want to push it. It is a lower low. That would be, yeah, well, it did break structure, but it did not break this structure. That would have been very bad. As far as right now, we're still above 200T. Until it breaks below 200T, I will be bullish on nat gas. This failed a higher high. It did go. It had volume behind it, but it failed a higher high. So oil really might just be chopping in. This is too steep, first of all. That's not going to continue in a massive downdraft. It's too steep. Like these kind of steepness just ends up consolidating, forming a fucking higher low, and then it goes back. So it needs to be something consistent, then drop consistent over under higher low into lower high, and then it falls into a lower low, and then it goes again. Now it's the same principle. This formed a lower high. We might actually come back to 92, 95. But it is too steep to just fall off a cliff. I mean, this is going to have to be filled, those equal lows at some point. 85 is probably going to be another target that we're going to go back to if it doesn't break 114. I would like to see it at 114 and then the market start falling. But as far as right now, there's not much we can do about it. We just got to wait. So that a lot of people said there's a massive opportunity in gold. This could be a higher low. If this is a higher low, which honestly, I mean, it broke one, it didn't break two, so we would need to break below 45.13 to really be bearish. As of right now, that's a higher low. So there's an opportunity for 47.45 and then to kind of trickle back up into 49. 5K. I mean, you see 200T is not moving at all, so there's potential. To me, it looks like really that's a high low, and then gold could really go back to 52. So I would keep my eyes very close on that. Same with silver, right here at 85, 85.5, and it closed within POC on the 4 hour, that which is huge. Last time it did have a rally. There's potential that we go to 78 and then maybe pull back, form another higher low, and then flip. But we'll see. We need to flip above that trend line to really go here. If we do, I'm going to increase position and then target these the 200T. Beside that, I'm not looking at anything else. I don't give a shit about stocks until I find an opportunity that will yield something in LTIs. I do see this is still closing above POC. I mean, it's crazy because it's been above POC for many days. The mag 8 are just too strong. They don't want to sell, which is why I think we're not bearish yet. It doesn't tell me we're bearish yet. We had rotation, but the sell-off led to a buy in other stocks. So Google had a massive buy in on Wednesday for post earnings, while Meta on Wednesday sold off. So that capital, and it did not, like, they didn't buy it back. They just let it die. So because they didn't buy it back, that means the sentiment, to me, it looks like the sentiment is rotated. It could also be a higher low, but I mean, I think we're gonna go back inside this range here in the future, or we're gonna try to come back up, let 20T catch up the price, and then once the price is gonna tap it, it's gonna be all bearish liquidity, and then we're gonna fall. So maybe a retest of 646. We'll see what happens, but I think if this is the head, this is the left shoulder, the right shoulder would be over here, which makes sense, right? So if we go in that range here, retest the MSB, we did fall, we did break this one and break this one. This is bearish. This is gonna go inside this range here, while Google is really getting a full blast of liquidity. There is a spike though, so there could be a head forming, and then we would retest around here, come back over here, but there's nothing. It's just a gap. There's no liquid at all. So the right shoulder would be somewhere around this line over here, and then we would fall if we are to fall. But as far as right now, Google is really, really strong. It's not much else that's behind it that is affecting any type of selling. This is kind of weird to me because earnings were good and it just massive doji, right? Like they didn't push, they didn't continue to push, and the sell-off did get some buy behind, but not like it, that was just a 50%, right? It wasn't anything crazy. It's barely any 50%. So there could be some left somewhere around 420, but I expect this to be a resistance. You really wanted the retest of 420 to kind of pop above with volume and then retest, and then it would go to form a higher high. But as far as right now, I mean, this would be your target. This would be your target if there is a retest and they cleanly close above. Because technically, that could be your lower low leading into a higher low, and then now it breaks that structure, and then that's two break a structure that would lead to your market structure break to be valid. Until then, I mean, just like here, right? You have your lower low, and then you have your market structure break happening over here. That break right here is it broke two, making it valid. Broke three actually, but technically this is the one that one, two, and then the third one is where it retested to now break all of them for the trend after consolidating and forming the support here. So you really want to keep track of these break. You need at least two break. This one right here broke one, broke two, It looks like it stopped, but that lower low needs to hold. If it starts dripping and goes back under 200T, that's a short. That's an absolute short, and you're gonna send it probably somewhere around here, 388 to 384. If it does go under POC, you'll have a good short for options. This is the kind of stuff that you keep track of. It gives you a good sentiment. That spike is significant, so that could be reversal because it is a bearish spike, so it could be reversal, but leading into buyers, that was significant pass here. So yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I'm gonna be looking at. Beside that, Tesla's a higher low. It really needs to break 397. If it breaks and hold 397, it's gonna keep going. 413. Yeah, 410 ish. That would be where you're kind of gonna find some resistance. But as far as right now, once it breaks above, like it's been attempting to break above 200T, right? Multiple times. This time it retraced lower 200T being in point of control. I think that's gonna go. The next time it cross and close above, it's game over. It's gonna have a lot of volume behind it, and it's gonna go. There's too much liquidity here to not go to 435. I think Tesla's nice under over. You got left shoulder, head, and then the right shoulder is above the left shoulder. It's gonna go. Tesla's about to explode. I would go. I would go in Tesla for sure. By June, July, Tesla's over here. So yeah, that's a little long week outlook, but I think that we have good a good bias for this week. See if it's bullish or bearish. There's some momentum left. I think there's going to be a good amount of opportunity in the market, and hopefully things don't get too wild. Oh, it did the same too. Dollar actually could go down. There's a chance the dollar could go down. If this is head, left shoulder, right shoulder is above the left, this would be a neckline. So there's a chance for dollars to fall. If the dollar do fall, then yes, the stocks will go up because the pressure will be gone. But I think that will be what we need to watch. It broke one. It did break two. We might actually come back up. Yeah, we're going to go retest 98 before falling back. I don't think we truly broke. Yeah, we got we got a market structure break, but the break of structure, that was one, and that's a higher low, not a lower low. We should have broken 97.6. It doesn't look like it's gonna fall. It's gonna keep falling. There's a chance, like if it goes to 98.4 and you can see there's no more highs from that point, we may not go retest this yet. But if we go straight up, retest this, then that's bearish pressure on the market, and then we might actually have some bearish momentum. As far as right now, I think dollar might continue to fall. It needs another break. If this is consolidation into, actually, it's 1, 2, 3. This looks the same. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think we might go. visit this. So ES might be a shooting star. It's not really a shooting star on the 4 hour though. So this is really what I want to keep my eyes on for the week. For sure, it's the dollar. It's either we go back up here putting pressure into the market, or we fall and create a lower low. So far, I mean, that would be where, let's say after the war, it could fall off. Almost. Damn. We almost almost had it. I want VIX under 200T, dude. If VIX goes under 200T, we are going to continue higher. It needs to break under 1682, so keep your eyes on VIX. Under 1682, it's going to continue. The market's going to continue higher. There's a good chance this would cross. If it does cross, we're gonna get to see something like this, and then probably around 13 to 16, or I would say, yeah, 13 to 13, 14-ish. That's where we're gonna reverse, or we might actually go back to 12. I mean, who knows? That's where the line in the sand is. So there's a chance. Just need to close under. We've almost did. So that is it for me. Hopefully, it gives you guys a good idea of what I see, how I analyze the market, what I do, how I react, and then hopefully we get a good week ahead of us and continue to get some profit for the beginning of the quarter.